It was through some of the darkest times of my life when spirit began to make itself known to me through signs and clues from the other side. It helped me understand that I was not alone, that I was connected, and there was more to life than just this experience. I call those magic moments. I'm Christy Simon Selly, and I'll be your host for this podcast, Unreasonable Magic, where I will share some of the most compelling stories that cannot be explained away through logic from my work as a psychic medium, an astrologer, and a human design consultant, working with clients in my own life. Please join me for the magic. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unreasonable Magic. I am Christy Simon Selly, your host. I have a special guest here today, my first in-studio guest, Peggy. Where's Bicky? This is episode number 6, and this is going to be a special feature episode. So Peggy and I had been talking about starting a podcast years ago. I mean, probably 2 to 3 years
Long
ago.
time.
And I think I was inspired by Julia Louis-Dreyfus's podcast, Wiser Than Me. If you haven't listened to that, it's a lovely. Have you listened to
I
that?
did.
It's a wonderful
Yeah,
podcast. Is it
yeah.
not a wonderful
Yeah,
podcast?
it is.
I want to introduce Peggy. Peggy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. There's a lot to tell. I'm not going to tell it all now, but you will be amazed at what I've been through. You think you've been through a lot? Wait, we'll talk. I have been a realtor for 47 years. That is my absolute niche. I love it. I've never had a bad day in real estate, and I still do it today. 47 years later. I've done a lot of things in my life, too. I was a lecturer and counselor for Weight Watchers for 15 years, and that was when I was newly married and had 2 little boys and a husband and gained that baby weight, and it stayed on for a while, and then I lost it, and like many of you and my friends, gained it, and then I lost it, and then I gained it again. So kind of, and I just lost a lot of weight, almost 50 pounds in the past 2 years. So that's another battle that I work on every day. So the good thing about that is I can always buy clothes and justify my shopping.
Good thinking, Peg. Yeah.
You don't want to wear
Yeah.
clothes that are out of style.
Well, you have 2 boys who are
Yes.
grown
They're
men.
all grown up.
You've
Yep.
also done hair.
Oh, that's right. I was a hairdresser back
You
in
were
the...
a hairdresser?
Do I say what year? Not yet,
No,
maybe.
it's
No, I'm
fine.
not going to say what year.
You were
I was a
comedian,
hairdresser.
did stand-up comedy.
Yes.
You've also done
Yeah.
acting
Yes, I
and
have.
singing and
Little
other
bit.
performance.
Yes.
That's Peggy's
Yes.
Leo rising
Yeah.
coming through.
Okay.
Peggy, just for our listeners' information, much like many of our other guests, is a Gemini sun, to my Gemini, everything else, and has a Capricorn moon, which makes the work ethic so strong here, why she's still ticking after all these years, and a Leo rising, which is the one who wants to be on stage. The Leo rising loves the spotlight, loves the drama. You have beautiful pieces of jewelry. You always have a
Oh.
style. That's such a Leo rising thing, is to have that just colorful approach to life and wanting, of course, the spotlight a little bit, which is why
I
you
do love that
agreed
spotlight.
to
Yeah.
meet me here on a rainy Thursday morning
Right,
to
right.
record this podcast. Let's talk about when we met.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Peggy and I met. We were just rehashing that as well. We've known each other a really long time because Peggy was on the board at the place where I had my very first job from college. So I was 22 years old. You were younger then than both of us are now. Let's call it that.
Right.
And Peggy was on the board, and I remember, and she couldn't believe that I remember, but I remember the first day you walked in, she had a real presence about her, and you were just very polite and warm and effervescent, I would say. Now, Peggy doesn't remember when she met me, but whatever. It was a long time ago, so we'll forgive that. But you
Thank
knew
you.
each other in
Thank
a
you.
business capacity first.
Yeah.
As much business as a 22-year-old can get done. But I did stay at that job for almost 8 years, so it was a long time. And when I left that job, I ended up at the next place, and you were also on the board there. And
Yes,
I think you were part of helping me get involved there.
Yeah.
At Hopevale, which
That's
is
right.
no longer. Do you want to speak about Hopevale?
Uh,
Because
yeah.
that was where you were on the board.
Yeah, that was one of the really memorable things in my life. Hopevale was a residential treatment center for young women,
Mhm.
and they lived there. They schooled there, and we helped them as best we could. We were on the charities board, so we did
Yes.
a lot of fundraising, and that part of it was a lot of fun. But knowing in your heart that you're doing something good and raising money for these girls who really deserved to have a better life was really one of the highlights in my life. And I guess that was something that was part of my nature, which I didn't know any of this until Christy came along and said, "Oh, you're this, you're this, you're this." Yeah. I go, "Yeah, I did that. I did that." But not knowing that this had anything to do with it, the stars had anything to do with it, I had no idea. I didn't follow astrology at the time or anything else for that matter. I just followed me,
Mhm.
which I
Yeah.
still do.
Peggy is good at that,
Yeah.
yes. And then, I mean, you've sold and bought houses together. We've just always stayed in
Yeah.
touch. I don't know exactly what
Yeah.
we're just friends. And
I've
so
had
here we are.
14 houses myself, and I think
Yeah, that's
that's why
another
I
thing.
got into real estate. I didn't know that I was gonna have 14 houses, but as soon as I bought and sold the first house, I loved it, and they were mostly fixer-uppers, which I like to do a lot, and I like to in my mind, I decorate all the time in my mind. Um,
She's a mental decorator.
yeah,
Sh
I'm a
and
mental
and
decorator.
also you paint
I do
furniture,
paint furniture.
decorative furniture, so
Yes,
and she
yes.
donates them for good causes.
Yes, I love the Mackenzie Child style of furniture, and that's what I like to paint. And being in real estate, people would give me their old furniture that they were going to put to the curb or throw out or not do anything with or leave behind. And I wound up, I have a basement full of furniture and a garage full of
We won't
furniture,
tell. Yeah.
and I paint everything fun colors and
Mhm.
I donate it to needy families and to fundraisers.
You have
And
done
because
this.
I have enough of my own furniture, I don't need any more. I love just giving it to people who appreciate it. And
Yes.
uh, one of my highest bidding things was a little plant stand that I painted in the Mackenzie Child style. I
Medical.
donated this piece to the Botanical Gardens fundraiser, and it sold for over $200. And it
Cool.
was just a darling little plant stand,
But
and
that's the thing, you
I love
took
it.
something that somebody was
Yeah.
ready to throw out,
Yes, yes,
you gave it
yes.
some love,
Yeah,
some vision,
yeah,
and it became
yeah,
a top bidding
yeah,
item that went on to serve
yeah,
a local
yeah.
nonprofit.
So
And that's the essence of Peggy. She sees the beauty in the things we find challenging. She sees the opportunity and the things we
mhm,
have to
I do,
learn
I do,
from.
yeah.
And just as one more point of spiritual, astrological human design reference before we continue, I mentioned in a previous podcast about human design that I am a 4-1, which is a very unique profile in human design. There's only 1% of people that are 4-1. It's the only fixed profile. And it's kind of a special thing. Like you can't go off track. You have to stay with your authenticity and you have to stay just on the plan that is kind of precast. And so if some of these things have maybe felt like stops and starts, you followed your heart and pull and went to the
Mhm,
things that felt
mhm.
right for you. That's the essence of being a 4-1. And there's something really about staying in your integrity as well as a 4-1. And so we just have to keep going. I'm thinking the only famous 4-1 that pops into my mind is Tom Brady, which as a
Oh,
Bills fan, we shouldn't really talk about former Patriots players. But if people ever wondered why he couldn't quit football, it's because he's a 4-1 and he had to keep doing what he needed to
oh,
do. So,
okay.
or maybe he just liked the drama. I haven't studied Tom's chart, but he is a 4-1. At any rate, it's one of the things that I find most interesting. But then to take it to a granularity for those who know stuff about this, and if you don't know, you can come to my human design workshop in July at the end of the month at Lilydale, and I'll tell you all about it. I have all of my variables pointing right. I am a quad right, as we say in the biz. Peggy is quad left. All of her arrows point in the left. Now, you don't even know what this
I have
means,
no
but
idea
you
what you're talking
know
about.
that you and I differ at a very basic
Yeah, oh, yeah,
level.
yeah.
Like, I am all about feelings and the intuitive
Mhm.
sense,
Yeah.
and Peggy is about facts and logic. You don't have enough information, she'll tell me. But I feel this way. You don't know. And so we have these conversations. I call Peggy when I'm completely at my wit's end, and I'll say, Peggy, can you give me a wow? And when I say wow, it's her words of wisdom. And so I'm hoping that Peggy can give all of us some wows. And this is the essence of this first segment and the ones that we intend to do that follow. People have written in with some life questions,
Mhm.
variety of topics, some more complicated than others. And Peggy is going to offer her perspective from a wise woman who's had a lot of roles and experiences in life with
Okay.
her
Yeah.
factual, logical mind. And I am going to come in with my sensitive, feeling, intuitive, astrological human design perspective. And so that's the essence of what we're going to be
Mhm.
doing. And we had, when we initially planned on our podcast, that now is just going to be a subset of the larger podcast. We're going to call it the Sage. That's Peggy, and the Mystic, and that is me. And we had the owl and the moon and the whole thing, and it was cute. Any final thoughts, Peg, on the process before we jump into our first question?
I'm excited about all of this because I think you'll be surprised with what you hear today, even though you've, I'm sure, heard many podcasts before, kind of in this, but nothing like this. Trust me. You haven't heard anything like this. Okay. So buckle up.
Yes. Yes. So we'll jump into our first question.
Okay.
So the first person that reached out, her initial question was, if how do I know if I'm stuck in something and need to take a deep dive to understand and possibly do work on the problem versus just things are working themselves out and I can relax, be patient, and not have to dig deeper? I had asked for some context just for Peggy's sake, and she spoke about some trouble they're having at a home they're living in that they've been owning and renting for years out to other people, and they're the first ones living there. They're having basement issues, flooding. She was seeing some symbolism around this and wondering if it's more of an energetic thing, which I resonate with, and so I get that. Plus, as someone in the real estate business, this is perfect for you
Yeah.
as well. On an energetic level, she knows there's a lot going on right now regarding her family and some deep rooted stuff that she's really not sure how to navigate. And she's feeling kind of alone. There's some health challenges going on with her family, some things in her relationship that she feels like she needs to work through. But she's saying that she feels pretty calm in spite of all of the friction that's kind of coming up for her. But she's also finding some self sabotaging behaviors and things that just don't make sense. So if we go back to the initial question, how do we know when to dive in and when to just let things play out?
You go first.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell this person because I did do a deep dive into the chart. This person is a Scorpio sun, has Virgo rising and Virgo moon. So Scorpio wants to dive into everything. So that might just be your nature, is to
Mm.
explore the underneath. And Virgo energy wants to fix things. It wants to clear up, get the water out of the basement, do all of that. But there's something to me so interesting about having your basement flooding with water, you're underneath in the water, such a Scorpio thing. And then the Virgo wanting to come rescue it. But there is right now in your life a great big cycle. You're at the end of like a 30-year cycle and you're about to kick off a new one. So it's really a time of recalibration, perhaps, in trying to understand where you've been, what you've been up to, what's coming next, what stays, what goes. I've been using this term a lot with sessions in client work lately of the emotional garage sale,
Ah.
where, you have a garage sale, some stuff you're like, I know what I need to put out. This is junk. I don't want it. And then there's those things that you really don't use anymore, but you kind of love them. And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, how do I get rid of this? Because I really love it, but I have no use for it, and it no longer fits my life. It's just taking up space." And those are the harder things to
Mhm.
sell, but
Mm.
do we have to sell them still, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
kind of the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But there's also some things going on for you. I would say come Thanksgiving into the earlier part of next year, this is a time of emergence for you. This is you finding yourself much more in alignment with your authentic self, perhaps stepping away from the over caring about everyone else and their needs and their concerns. And then really, it's like by next spring, there's almost like a whole new you that comes out of this. So I'm thinking my initial take on this was maybe the change for you is more how you react to things as opposed to, do I need to dive in or not? Can you get comfortable in the uncomfortable and let things flow? obviously water in the basement. We want to fix that. But either way, you're in a period of epic change. Like this is a once in a lifetime moment of all of these things aligning at the same time, really in the next 12 months. And so I hope that that is helpful. Peggy, what is your perspective?
Well, I'm thinking that you have rented that house out for many, many years, and this is the first time you've been
They've
in
lived in
it,
it. Yeah.
okay? To live full time and hear the house. The house is talking to you for the very first time because when you rent out a house, the tenant doesn't necessarily come to you with every little squeak or knock or bang. So you really don't know much about the house
Until you live in it.
until you live in it and it talks to you and it tells you. So it's too soon for you to worry about anything actually because you don't even know what you need to worry about. It just goes back to what I always believe. You don't have enough information to make a decision on how to feel. At some point, you have to say, let's wait and see what happens next. Okay. There's health issues in the family. They can resolve themselves. But if they don't, to your satisfaction, that is part of life.
The
And
new normal.
you have to take a break, sit back, and watch your life. Watch your life for a year. And a year from now, you look back at your notes if you want to take notes and say, you know what? I made it through this. I made it through this. I made it through this. I even made it through this. And if we were together again a year from now, I would say to you, you're probably one of the strongest women I've ever known. So breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and get your information. That's what I
Yeah.
would say.
And I think that's beautiful. It's like, can you get comfortable in this uncomfortable state
Mm,
and use it as data points
right,
as opposed to
right.
action items?
Yeah,
Because there's so much change
yeah,
coming for you that I don't even think you need to sweat it. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's not, again, to dismiss anything that feels heavy or icky,
Right.
but I do think there is something there about just waiting and allowing what
Mhm,
comes. And I will just say, too, from an energetic perspective, you are a 6'2" profile in human design, and this is someone who is here to become an expert. You are here to help guide other people. People see you as a teacher and a leader. And sometimes when you are in that space, it's sort of like you have to go through a lot in order to help
mhm,
other
mhm.
people. So I just say that to you more as this thing to anchor what's happening for you, but also the two part of you needs a lot of space. So give yourself some alone time. Think about self care and nourishment, alone time, trips, even if you could do an alone trip feels great. Don't
Oh,
you think?
yeah.
Love an alone trip.
Massage included in that.
Yes,
Yeah.
massage, of course. Yes, absolutely.
Reflexology,
All those things. We
nails.
support all of the
Yeah,
thing. Get your nails done. Sure, I like that too. So,
yeah.
yeah. So hopefully that's helpful to our first person who wrote in. And then our second person who reached out, who is looking at a moment of change as well. So we've said this. One, our backup name was going to be the change agents.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause people
Right.
come to me when they're going
Yeah,
through change, and
yeah,
Peggy, when they wanna buy a house or leave a
yeah.
house, is usually change attached to that too. So, this question comes from, someone who wrote in and wanted to know she's got a what she calls a layered question. She's planning to retire from her teaching job at the end of the next school year, so next summer. Her business partner and herself were looking at a spot in the city, hoping to move in this August. So that would give her
Oh,
all of this school year to sort of acclimate to
mhm,
a space and all of that kind of a thing. Her business partner, since this has all come up, was asked to go permanent at her job that she's been working at in a full time capacity, which I know
okay.
to be good benefits and anchoring and all that kind of a thing. There's some concern about timing around that. Will she get the job? Won't she? This kind of a thing, which puts our writer, the question asker, her retirement plans up in the air. So she's looking for guidance on what the future holds. Can I still plan to retire? I so badly want to. And will I be okay if I do, financially speaking? I also realize that the situation doesn't mean that our space isn't happening. My partner may not get the job. We also might just need to put the space off for a bit. That's the question.
Mhm, mhm. Well, it sounds to me like you are already considering putting the venture off.
Mhm.
But if you don't want to, I mean, how many regrets do you wanna have? What happens if you did put it off and things didn't work out and you lost out on some opportunities maybe,
Mhm.
or it cost more money than you thought it would
Right.
down the road,
Mhm.
which happens a lot, especially nowadays. Can you do this on your own
Mhm.
with your business partner as a backup if he or she does take that full-time job?
Mhm.
I think a discussion needs to be had, an honest discussion, a what if. What will we do if this happens? What will we do if that happens? What do you want to do? Here's what I want to do. What would you like to do? What do you think is the best plan for us? And let's ask 5, 6, 7 questions that are important, and then we'll decide how if we can go forward with our original plan.
And if the business partner gets the job, she's got to decide, can she do it on her own?
Right.
Is there another
Right.
collaborator or another way to think through it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the questions.
She
That's the
doesn't have
perfect
enough
question.
information,
Nope,
Peggy. This
does
is
not.
Peggy's going to
She
get
doesn't.
bumper stickers. You don't
Mm.
have enough
You don't have enough
information.
information. And then you're gonna call in and say, "You know what? We didn't have enough information,
Yeah.
but we did it anyway, and we'll help you through that as well."
So I'm going to give you my perspective. Having assessed your chart as a Pisces sun, a Sagittarius moon, Scorpio rising, is now the time to retire or stay. You're also a 5-1 sacral generator, which means that you need to be doing work that gives you joy. If you don't feel excitement or joy, you're not going to call in any opportunities. So if the thought of staying at the job for an additional 2, 3, 4 years makes you feel like a wet piece of toast, then I would say don't do that. That's again just energetically, information aside,
Mhm.
whatever you'd like to do. Because if it feels like walking back through a door that you've kind of already mentally walked through, it's sometimes hard to go back into those spaces. It's kind of trying to put yourself in a box or a space you've outgrown, if that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Astrologically speaking, your progressed moon, which is something that we look at as a sort of a larger timing tool, is currently in the sign of Sagittarius, and it's going to be there for the next year and a half ish. When the progressed moon is in Sagittarius, it's time to take a risk. It's time to learn a thing, expand your horizons. It's really also time to reap the rewards of the work you've already been doing. But this progressed moon is in your second house, which is a money house. And so you're right, money can't really be avoided right now, those considerations.
Mhm,
But I'm wondering if the thought of taking this year with or without the business partner while you have a stable income gives you that experimental quality. Sagittarius loves an experiment as well and lets you take this risk. I would be like, do it. But only again,
mhm.
to Peggy's point, when you have more information. And also to assess where, if you love your job, so walking away from teaching, although I heard you say really, really want to retire, like maybe it's lost its fizzle for you.
Mhm.
You have to accept the fizzle might be gone because when it's gone, right? I will just say too, earlier this year, there was a major conjunction in the sky that hasn't happened since the 1980s, and this, for all of us, is giving us the opportunity to dream a new dream. There's a space, there's something opening up for you. For you, it was in the 6th house, which is very much tied to work, day-to-day work, our health of all the kinds, and I know the work you do does have an alignment around alternative health methods, and this is what you and your business partner have lined up. So I'm just saying it might be time to take that plunge,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
and if
mhm.
the space works and you don't have to commit to a 5-year lease, if you just do it for a year
Right,
maybe while you have the
right.
stable income still and make those choices.
Yeah,
To the
yeah.
one who wrote this question, if anything we said really kinda, I'm gonna say yes to most things because 'cause I'm like, "Yeah, do it." But as Peggy will tell you, that's not the right
No.
answer always. But when your progressed moon is in Sagittarius, yes, take a risk. That would be my thing. Also, money is gonna be on your mind for the next year or 2, and that's okay, because I'm like, while you have the stable income, take the risk now, or it's a
Mhm.
little less scary.
Right, right. I agree.
And your Scorpio rising is very tenacious and will persevere. So I feel really comfortable saying all of that for you. And so our next question comes from another person, and she says, "My biggest dilemma over the past year is accepting what is." She lost a brother recently within the past year or two. Her brother, who is still here, has since started to reject her and limiting her communication as she's caring for their mother who has dementia, which has been challenging. She's also thinking about retirement. Can I take this leap of faith that I can live on less and be happier? And this ties into with getting rid of stuff in her home. So much like our
Mhm.
first, there's like kind of a layer here. Knowing she wants to declutter, downsize, perhaps, and maybe live with less so that she can be a little, enjoy her retirement better. And then her third part was really just letting go of what no longer serves her, both internally and externally. And is very grateful to be part of our program, and she loved the invitation to participate because she's a projector, and projectors love to be invited. They do best when they're invited. And so, for the sake of the listener, this person has a Taurus sun, an Aquarius moon, and a Pisces rising. They're a 5-2 emotional projector. Um, would you like to go
I
first?
will. Can you give me I think there were 3 points that she was concerned
Yes.
about?
She's having trouble, she's caring for an elderly mother with
Mhm,
dementia, and
mhm.
her remaining
Oh,
brother has
yes.
cut her off.
Let me answer that one.
Okay.
Um, what I think is the brother is scared out of his mind. He's very, very, very scared. Um, and obviously doesn't want to deal with anything, so he'll put that wall up and put that in a corner away, and I don't want to deal with it. I see that a lot when the elderly have to sell their homes versus um, not waiting too long to do it. It's always better if you can make your decisions in life, the big decisions, when you have a choice. When you don't have a choice, when it's forced upon you, that's when it gets tough and people get tight and the emotions kick in and you do things and say things and behave in ways that you wouldn't normally if you did things together with an agreement of clarity, if that makes sense, where you all can see the right answer, but when something happens so quickly and nobody's on the same page, that's tough. And to get to the same page, um, it doesn't always happen. And I see a lot of that in real estate where families fight
So if
and
he's ignoring her calls
yeah.
and such, and she can't even get to that point, how does she just accept that perhaps he's gone?
Well, if he's gone, he's gone. I mean, what can you do? It's his choice, his decision, and logically, I would say, okay, I don't have any control over what he does, what he says, what he thinks, what he feels. I have no control. So that's okay. I understand. No one has control over me either.
Right.
So I have to go with what he's doing.
Mm.
I don't have to like it, but it's not up to me to change it.
Right. And then her concern also about retirement. Can I live on less and be happier?
Well, that's pen to the paper with numbers. You have to know if you can live on less. Can you be happier? That's up to you. You can live on very little and be very, very happy. And you can retire and know that you have a small nest egg if something comes up. And if you don't have one, you would start saving now. If you have a time frame a year from now, how much can you put away a week? 20 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks? You know what? It all adds up. I read something the other day. If you want to blow $10,000 a year, all you have to do is spend $27.40 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have needed to hear that one too. So,
So there you go. Yes, you can retire and be happy with a lot of money. You can
hmm
retire and be happy with very little money because happiness
hmm
comes from the inside, not the
hmm
outside.
Yeah, and that I think is great advice, which I think the third point of just letting go of what no longer serves kind of fits the whole question. So I feel like that doesn't need
Yeah.
its own separate point. I will tell you that right now, the planet Pluto is exact on your Aquarius moon. And this is a once in a lifetime transit. This is not something everybody gets to experience because it takes Pluto 248 years to get around the birth chart. And so to say that this is happening now for you feels like it's not a coincidence that you're feeling the way that you're feeling. It's really a time to break out. It's a time to drop old habits. It is a time to break free. This is an ongoing cycle that's going to continue until January of 2027. So, all of the rest of this calendar year. In the last year or two, Saturn and Neptune, the two planets that are making us all dream a new dream, recently crossed over your ascendant, which is very much a new start, a new dream. It's we've been tested, all the things. There's a time of perhaps rest and fatigue and inspiration also in those moments, but you've come through it. And so I feel like depending on your finances, that would be
Mhm,
my
mhm.
only concern because the rest feels good to me. The progressed moon is about to become what we call new again, and that won't happen until the end of 2027, December 12th, quite specifically, if you want to know. So if it made sense that you worked through 2027 and by 2028 you're starting fresh, that would totally line up energetically with what's happening for you in the chart. Now, if you wanted to do it sooner, I'm gonna say yes to all of that because I would say by the time Pluto is done with your moon. You could think of the moon as your body, it's your house, it's your mother. It's like there's a lot that ties into the moon. Your physical, where you are could change. I want to declutter my home. I want to get rid of. Pluto loves to purge and expunge the things we don't need. And so this feels like you're exactly on track with where you're supposed to be right now. And I think too, as a projector, you're not meant to work super hard and forever. You need breaks, you need invitations. And so I'm like, can you take the next year to year and a half to really get everything in order for yourself with your mother, with your home, with your finances, and then leave on a high note? Leave like, yeah, I got this all set up. So you're not feeling frazzled as you walk out the door, but to kind of have a plan. So those are the things that come up for me.
Mhm.
I think they make sense. I think it lines up with where we are. Yeah. So our next question comes from a woman who is getting married this fall. Her questions, she says she has a couple of topics that come up. Work, for one thing. I know her to be a very hardworking individual. And she says, do I really have to ask for a promotion every time it's deserved? And I know what you're gonna say about that, but let me read the other half of the
You
question.
don't know what I'm
I
gonna
kinda
say.
do.
No, you don't.
Okay. And then in relationships, she said, I'm getting married this fall. The guest planning can be challenging. She's encountering people who she hasn't seen or talked to in over 5 years who also didn't attend her dad's funeral, which is just an aside, who passed in the last 5 years. These folks are feeling blindsided when they didn't get an invitation to their wedding. And she does comment that both her and her fiance are the youngest in larger families, and they're desperately trying to keep their wedding small. So, just with extended family, they have a pretty good group. So, they're trying to keep it reasonable so that maybe one day, 40 years later, they can retire when they want to,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not have to worry about these things.
Then
So, what would you say to our writer?
I
The
would
first
say
question about the promotion.
I would ask for a promotion every week because that's how hard I work. That's
Capricorn moon.
right? I mean, I'm
Yes.
kidding, of course, but if you feel you deserve a promotion, get your ducks in a row and have everything there to prove your point, and then the ball's in their court. How many
Yeah.
chances do you wanna give them in this game of
Yeah.
work?
Yeah. I would say too in that situation, just because I did not say what our writers, her statistics are. She's a Leo sun, a Cancer moon, and a Sagittarius rising. She is a 5-1 sacral manifesting generator. So let's do question by question. We'll go
Yeah,
first one. Yeah.
that's
On this
good.
one, I'm going to say this is happening for you. Much like I said earlier, if you are not feeling excited about your work life, you need that. You are obviously getting married, so you have obviously some other excitement. But as a manifesting generator, you need to feel like you're sinking your teeth into something. You have to feel energized or it's going to start to feel flat. You are having something where Saturn is in relationship to your midheaven, which has everything to do with career, but it's in an opposition. And so those can be more tense aspects. So that's been going on since earlier this year. That's going to continue through February. So it's definitely a moment of being tested. It's a moment where we have to get serious about what we want. We have to sort of streamline our efforts, but it is a time to step into your authority as well. And so my thought was like, let's sit down, put all your achievements, everything you've achieved in this last however long you've been at this company down on paper and walk in and say, here's what's up. I want it. Give it to me. This is why. And not just because I think I want it, but because I deserve it. And these are the things I've
Yep.
done to be my hardworking self and bring it there. So that's going on and through February of next year. So I feel like that's kind of a relevant point of discussion for you in terms of the job front. So yeah, go after it, but have your documents
Mhm,
in order.
mhm.
Yeah. And then the
So
part
I
about the wedding.
have the wedding you want. I don't want you not to be able to buy a house because
Yeah.
you're paying for a wedding.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say. Do what you want. You don't owe anybody anything. Nothing. How come we didn't get invited to the wedding, or did you invite so and so? Well, other than idle curiosity, why would you need to know?
Right. Yeah, I
I
love
mean,
that.
I know that's rough, and I probably wouldn't say it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's private. Weddings are private. They're personal. They're not out for the social pages anymore.
yeah.
Things are different, and
And damn, they're
people should
expensive.
understand that. And that slogan, "You do you." Well, you do you, I'll do me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would just add as a Cancer moon, your family is going to be profoundly important to you. There may also be a real need for privacy and keeping things small and comfortable.
Mhm.
So I think you're right in line with doing what you want to do. As a 5-1 person, the 5 line in particular, people will project onto you what they would like to be there, whether it's there or it's not. So I think for you and any other 5 person, just knowing that your life is about having your own really strong boundaries of who you are and not letting other people's stuff sway you because you are exactly who you are no matter what anyone says. So I say, have the wedding you want. You will not regret having a beautiful
Yeah,
wedding with the
yeah.
people you love most, as opposed to feeling icky about
And you might regret.
opening a wedding up to a bunch of people who
Yes.
weren't
Yes.
on your first pass, who
Yes.
obviously don't have your best
Right.
intentions in mind if they didn't come to your father's funeral.
Well,
So,
who don't deserve to be there.
right. Yes. So, I think, yeah, enjoy that. And congratulations.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
try to live life without regrets. Because you
Yes.
know what? If you listen to that voice in your head or your gut, it'll give you the right answer.
Well, I would just say to this particular person, it's the gut because she's got sacral authority. So let's not confuse things. Don't listen to your head. Listen to your gut. Yeah, your head, there's no energy in the head. So we're going to just, there is nothing.
Speak for yourself.
Seriously, Pegs, nothing. And so our
Okay.
final question asker has been going through what she calls something of a dark night of the soul for about the last 5 years. There, like all of us, went through some things around COVID. She was separated from her fiance due to border closings and this kind of a thing. They reconnected, but then they did end up parting ways. In the meantime, her mother passed away. She's had a lot of other loss. She lost a dog. She left a long-term stable position to open her own private operation, which she's been enjoying doing. She also has moved and she did everything really quickly. She's been working on some healing stuff. There's been a lot happening, but she's still feeling slightly unsettled. And just now she's moved into a new place, making friends in a new community, feeling a little bit more settled when she finds out from the state that she needs to have some extra classes to credential herself with her new private operation that she's running, which is really antithetical to everything she wanted to be doing. She was kind of lightly sketching out retirement plans, thinking about her next steps, trying to get settled. She's really just been going through it, acknowledging that she's had a lot of change in those times. She's changed as a person and she's trying to look at these things as positive. But her question really is, will things finally settle in? I feel like I've grown wise, but also weary. She's really looking
Mm.
for
Mhm. Mhm.
some, I think, wow from Peggy.
I think she's lived through a lifetime of disappointments, first of all, which we all do. Some of our disappointments are spread over our life. Some of them are spread over a few years. Some of them a few months. Horrible things can happen, and many horrible things can happen in just a few months. So for a year or two of going through all this in a short period of time, terrible things happen, or sad things happen, or surprising things happen, disappointing things happen. But they happen, and they happen to all of us. And I hate to say it, but we're not special in that genre. That is life. So you have to decide, just the fact that that you wrote in and acknowledged all these things, that's pretty good that you were able to do that. As long as you don't dwell on it, it's over, and you can say, "Okay, it's over, something else might happen, but, I can deal with it." If you dealt through all these things that you had to deal with in this pretty short amount of time, you're pretty strong because you've made it through all of them, and I think you have a lot to look forward to, and whatever happens from this point on, you got it, honey. You got it, and you
Yeah.
can say to yourself, "Huh, I got this.
Yeah.
I've been through this is nothing compared to what I've been through." So, I think you're gonna be good.
Yeah. I would say, yes, I think you've done great things, much like our first question. If you can
Mhm.
survive all of these things, what you're really kind of
Yeah,
impervious to the world and you can take on whatever. Certainly things hurt, no doubt. But
yeah.
and the losses are hard. So this individual is a Aries sun, a Sagittarius moon, and a Pisces rising. So already I just want to say the Aries sun in the second house wants stability. It wants resources. It wants to feel comfortable with finances. But also, then that sun is going to be the initiator and the leader and the charge forward person. And I think so much of the evolution that you've gone through is because of that Aries sun push, push, push maybe isn't lined up with the sensitive Pisces underbelly of the Pisces rising, and there's actually a profound stellium in Pisces as well. Your progressed moon just moved into Pisces, which is a time of endings. It's a time of releasing. It's a time of great love as well. It's a time of healing, but it's a time to slow down. It's not really a time to plow forward. And it's interesting to me that because you're a Pisces rising, this Pisces progressed moon is also going to cross your ascendant in July 2026, which is now basically. This is a total restart and do-over moment. I think a lot of the surprises that have come in for you have been because the planet Uranus, the shock and awe planet, is squaring your ascendant. And I'm wondering, you really need to sit deeply with this. You have emotional authority. You're a 5-1 emotional manifesting generator. You were meant to be multi-passionate, which it sounds like you are, but your emotions really are your guide, antithetical to
Mhm.
what Peggy would like to think. Some of us are built this way. You need to feel really comfortable with what you choose. And the thing, though, with this is that these decisions are not meant to take, 7 weeks. This is meant to be like really sit with this for a few days and then see where you land in terms of a decision. I could see this really going both ways. I could see you saying, "You know what? I'm going to wrap this whole thing up. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do what I need to do to get, earn the money I need to earn or do the thing." Or I could see this as an opportunity to restart, to reconnect with what you love, give all those things you've lost their final due. It does feel like there's a part of you, and I know this just from your human design chart, that really supports ritual and giving a ritual, perhaps offering some thoughts, some wisdom, some love to all the things you've lost in the past few years as teachers and as important pieces of your life and then step forward into what comes next. So I could see this really going either way for you, but I do feel like I see you more in the driver's seat with this restart energy. So you get to decide. So instead of feeling like you're kind of caught in the wave here, maybe this is your moment to really step forward with this progressed moon crossing your ascendant. It's pretty much now. You're knocking on the door of that. So you have to feel really good about what you decide to do, but remember to slow down and give yourself space. Your Sagittarius moon wants to keep learning and exploring and going, and your Aries sun will always want to initiate and try the next thing. But your Pisces underbelly really needs its own space and rhythm. So I would say to give that part of yourself some love first and see what comes after that.
Sounds good.
Well, folks, this is it. This is your first official episode with Peggy and I assessing these questions from our listeners. If you have things you want to share, you can send me an email at henscrossing@gmail.com. I also have a link, which I'll put in the show notes, where you can add questions right into a form. Just please know your birth details so we can look at both the chart from my end of things and from the wise part of Peggy's end of things.
What are the birth details?
They would need to know their birthday, the time of birth, and the location. So I don't need to know the hospital room or anything like that. But the city, the country, if you're born out of the country, and give us that detail, and then we can take a look at things for you. So,
Wow.
yeah, final wows for today.
Yeah,
Did you feel like there was a theme in all of these questions?
I did. And that is the humanity of people, right? We kind of all worry about the same things, take joy in the same things, kind of, and not always come to the same conclusion, but come to a conclusion that's good for us.
I heard something. You spoke about what you read about the $10,000, which is really going to make me
Yes.
take pause. But something I
Yes.
read the other day was about worry. And worry is like praying for something you don't want every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we don't want to waste our prayers on that.
right.
No.
And every thought and everything that passes our mind
Mm.
and our heart is a prayer, right? And so if worry is praying for something we don't want, there you go.
Yikes.
Well, those are our words of wisdom here from Christy and Peggy, the sage and the mystic, or the change agents. Maybe we'll
That's
vote
right,
on
yeah,
that, what
yeah.
people like better.
Or you can give us some suggestions and we'll laugh about that.
Yes, we'll farm out some new names.
I'm sure they're going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, if you guys like this, please let us know. We'd love to keep coming back. We're thinking about once a month. We'll do this as part of the show and love those listener questions. So if you'd love to hear the wise woman's perspective and the sensitive woman's perspective, we're here for you. So
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Please tune in next time. We have a really compelling story. I think it'll touch your heart in many ways. So we'd love to have you back.